Sup people, welcome back to Reddit Roundup, and today we have r/am I the butthole. Today you will be hearing commentary from myself and my partner. I hope you guys enjoy. Please give it a like, subscribe, and tell all your friends.
Am I the butthole for choosing to work at home when my Zoom meetings annoy my husband? So my employer has given all the employees a chance from working from home or working at the office. Personally, I feel like it's safer given the circumstances going on. It's about 50-50 with some of my coworkers deciding to stay home and some deciding to go to the office. The problem and conflict is that I often have 2 or 3 one-hour Zoom meetings a day. I use headphones, but I do talk during most of them. I close my door, but the noise still bothers my husband, who is in the other room. He is also home all day since he's unemployed, and he keeps telling me that I'm selfish because I choose to stay at home and bother him instead of going into the office and work. He says I'm just too lazy and waves off my health concerns as me just being paranoid. I do feel guilty because he gets really upset by the noise and says it's hard for him to focus on stuff he's reading when he hears me talking. Am I wrong? Should I go into the office a few days a week? I've been getting a lot of comments lately telling me I should tell my husband to look for a job, but he doesn't want to get one until COVID's over, which is weird since he says that I'm the paranoid one. Overall, he makes me feel guilty, which is why I came on here. Lately, he's been getting upset that our place isn't clean enough. By the way, we don't sleep in the same room. He'll just come in just to inspect it on the daily. And again, today, he was really upset about the noise. Okay, OP. So first of all, no, you are not the butthole in this situation. He is currently unemployed, so you're doing your job, you're doing your part. He's just chilling there, doing nothing, complaining. I would just tell him, no, go get a job, leave me alone. So for the butthole scale, definitely you would get a 0 because you did nothing wrong. And for your husband, I would definitely give him an 8 out of 10 buttholes because that's just extra.
Am I the butthole for telling my dad's fiance I won't call her kids my brother and sister? My dad is getting married in a few months to Kelly. Kelly has a 6-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. I am 17. Kelly sat me down the other night and asked me if I would call her kids my brother and sister after they're married. She said they asked her why I call them Kelly's kids to other people, and she said it upsets them. I told her I could just say their names to people if that would make it easier. She said they see me as their sister, and that the last 18 months of living together and the last 2.5 years of knowing me means that they see me as their big sister, not as my dad's daughter. I told her I wasn't comfortable calling them my siblings, that it's just not for me and I will be moving out soon. She's aggravated and got my dad pissed off at me. I ended up just going home to my mom's and she's hearing all about it now. Am I the butthole for not being willing to call them my brother and sister? In my opinion, OP, it really depends on a lot of factors here whether you are the butthole or not. You guys say that you've been together, or living together I should say, for 18 months. However, how much of that time were you at your mother's compared to your father's, and how often were the kids there when you were at your father's? Because, if they were only there a couple days a week, and you're only meeting each other like once or twice a week, then, I could kind of see your opinion. However, if you guys were there all the time, that's kind of harsh to not see them as your siblings. It kind of sounds pretentious of you a little bit, but we don't have enough information here to make a fair judgment, so I'm only gonna give you a half a butthole on the butthole scale, and I'm gonna give your stepmom 2 buttholes for kind of pressuring you like that. Am I the butthole for walking out of my job? I, a 29-year-old female, worked as a waitress at a restaurant with a point system. It's 1 point if you are late, 3 points to call off with notice, and 5 points to call in with 4 hours notice of your shift. This is fine with me as I have no points this year. I haven't called off since 2018. I'm the type of person who covers shifts, stays late, and generally just a go-to person for my job. Last week, I ended up calling off and was out for a week due to being hospitalized in the ICU with a horrible infection. I let my boss know at 2 a.m. that I was being sent by helicopter and will keep her informed of everything that is going on. Today was my first day back and I'm of course not 100% yet, and like many other places, we are short-staffed. When I came in today, I opened and got right to work. My boss came in 2 hours later and called me into her office. She informed me that I was getting 8 points, losing my discounts and bonuses for 90 days, and will be put on probation. I was dumbfounded and told her I wasn't signing the papers as it was out of my control. She said if I didn't, I would be terminated. I told her not to bother and walked out. I am now getting calls and texts from her and coworkers saying they need me, and I was an ass for quitting on them. My husband thinks I am in the right because it was ridiculous that I was getting punished for almost dying. Am I the butthole? I 100% agree with the community on this one, OP. You are definitely not the butthole in this situation. It's pretty ridiculous that your boss would even do this to you, considering all that happened to you. Like, you were in the ICU and flown by helicopter, for Pete's sake. That's just ridiculous. But anyways, I find it funny how they call you saying that they absolutely need you and everything, yet your boss comes in 2 hours late. If you guys at the store were struggling as hard as they make it seem, you think they would be the first one there, last one to leave. It's their company, like, whatever. Anyways, I give you 0 out of 10 buttholes, and I give your boss a solid 4 out of 10 buttholes. Pretty ridiculous. On another side note, OP, it's pretty ridiculous that they would cut your bonuses for 90 days and your store discounts. As a waitress, most of your wages come from tips, I would assume, and that comes from bonuses. So for 3 months, you're gonna have all of your tips taken away and be put back on probation. How do they expect you to be able to live? Like, with everything going on in the world and being off for a week, you already lost wages there. Like, scumbags. Am I the butthole for getting mad at my wife because she caused me to fail an important interview? I, a 27-year-old male, and my wife, a 24-year-old female, have been married for 3 years. She is 6 months pregnant. I have been looking for a job with better pay since my wife wants to be a stay-at-home mom after the birth. Today I had an interview for a position with a very good IT company, which would be paying triple my current salary. There were a lot of pressures taken to prevent malpractice. I was not allowed to look anywhere but the screen, etc. The test was conducted on an online platform. I had told her numerous times before the exam about the strict investigations. Just 15 minutes after the test started, my wife started knocking on the door and calling my name, wanting me to open a jar for her. I ignored her because I would be disqualified from the interview if I looked anywhere else or spoke. I figured she would get the hint that I couldn't talk, but she didn't, and she kept yelling at me and calling me an a-hole, and went and talked to her friends on a call. She didn't stop at that. She played loud music for her online yoga class. It was very distracting, and I made a lot of mistakes on the exam. It was multiple choice questions based test, so I got my results immediately, and as expected, I had failed miserably. I was livid with my wife. This was the 5th interview she had ruined like this. I told her that I had given up on trying to make life easier and that I am not going to look for any more jobs since she doesn't want to maintain silence during an important interview. I told her to start working again after the birth and I was okay paying for a nanny/babysitter. She said that I was being unreasonable for expecting perfect silence at home. Am I the butthole? No, I do not believe you are the butthole in this situation, OP. It's pretty rude of your wife to expect you to get a higher paying job, yet won't even give you the decency of silence during the exam itself. It's one thing to expect silence, the entire day when you just had one exam. However, if she's being loud every single time, which is how you make it sound during the interviews, then I don't know what she expects of you. She should have to go back to work after the baby is born, after her maternity leave is done, and that should be that. It's her own fault for you not getting the exams. I mean, we don't know how qualified you are, of course, but given the circumstances, her behavior is definitely not beneficial for you. So in this situation, I give you 0 out of 10 buttholes, and I give your wife 3 out of 10 buttholes. Also, for this job in particular, if you are going to be paid triple your current salary, that's life-changing amount of money depending on, how much money you were making before. But even if you were making minimum wage, 3 times minimum wage is a ton of money. Most people don't even make that. Most people don't even make double minimum wage, let alone triple. So depending on how much you were making before, triple that is game-changing money. And if she's just gonna throw that away, she deserves to make money for herself. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe. Please leave a comment down below any subreddits you'd like to see. And until next time, Pizzace Mafkers.